What's going on, nation? I'm Scott from MuscularStrength.com, and today we're going to be talking about 2 reasons why you're not seeing arm growth. But before we get started, be sure to click that notification bell so you never miss a new video upload from me. Alright, so for today's video, we're going to be focusing on the triceps. And I know I said arms growth, which might indicate biceps and triceps, but guys, triceps are 2/3 of your arm. And the bigger your triceps are, the bigger your arm's going to look in general. And we all want to have thick, beefy triceps because, it just looks cool, right? We all want to have those big horseshoes sticking out. But there is a problem that comes along when you guys surf the web and you try to find information on how to get big, beefy triceps, especially when it comes to this exercise right here, the Triceps Pushdown. Now, before I get into this, I do want to make clear a few different things. And number one is that I would never start off my arm workout with this exercise. I would start it off with a really heavy weighted dip or a heavy close grip bench press to really try and hit the triceps as hard as possible. Whereas this is more of an isolation movement, but chances are, if you're going to use this movement or movement similar to it and you're not doing it right, then obviously there's no point because this is an excellent mass builder for triceps. I use it all the time. I've been using it since I was a kid. I absolutely love it. And with that being said, let's get into the 2 mistakes regarding the Triceps Pushdown. Now, the first mistake is very simple. And I'm going to be applying what I'm saying to you guys to my cheat and recover technique, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video. A lot of guys, when they come over to the Triceps Pushdown, they want to do as much weight as possible. And you should, because in order to build muscle, you're going to have to overload and really focus on overloading the negative portion of the movement. But if you're doing the Triceps Pushdown, where proper form looks something like this, elbows in one place, and you're pushing straight down, coming back up, getting that nice stretch, and pushing straight down, if this is proper form, but you overload the weight so much, the only way you can press it down is by getting on top of it like this, and the movement turns more into a press with your elbows extended out to the side, then we're going to start to have a problem. And the reason being is because as soon as you start leaning over and pressing down like this, you're bringing a lot more chest and shoulders into the movement. So, hey, maybe you are lifting more weight that way, but you're not lifting more weight because your triceps are doing the work. You're only lifting more weight because you're bringing more muscles into the equation, which isn't a good thing when you're trying to isolate and build those triceps. So if you're doing this with the Vibha, what I'm going to recommend to you is that you get into proper form, which is elbows by your side like this, and then the proper form once again is pushing straight down like that, getting that full extension at the bottom, flexing your triceps. You guys notice I'm not just, going down like this and barely doing an extension. Every single repetition when I do this movement is all the way up, all the way down, flexing my triceps as hard as I can at the bottom, and then coming up. And for those of you who say there's no tension at the top of this movement, I want you to put on as much weight as possible and hold this position for 5 to 10 seconds and then try to press down. You're not going to be able to because while you're in this position, this is the stretched position. In this position, you're going to feel a massive stretch through your triceps, which is why it's so important and why you don't want to skip it. So, with that being said, if you want to be able to take advantage of lifting more weight and being able to sit in that stretched position a bit longer and still be able to get your 8 or 10 repetitions, what I want you to do is this. Instead of being here and pressing a few inches in front of your body, which tends to bring a bit more shoulders into the movement, a lot of you guys probably feel a bit more shoulder fatigue as you do this exercise. What you're going to do is, instead of being on top of the weight like this, you're going to do one little step and just bring your arms super close, just like that. From this position, you're going to have a bit more pressing power, and you're going to be able to take full advantage of the stretch at the top of the movement and still have enough power to push down a bit more weight. Even if it's just 5 pounds, maybe 10 pounds max, that's still 5 to 10 more pounds of pressure that you're placing on your triceps to overload them in the stretched position and throughout the negative as you come back up and control the weight. Now, the second issue with this exercise is that a lot of you have been told that the V-bar is not the best attachment to use. In fact, you've been told that the rope attachment is the best attachment to use for this exercise. And I'm not here to say that you're right or wrong. I'm here to say that there's two different ways you would use these attachments. They're not meant for the same goal. So real quick, guys, the tricep is meant to extend the elbow and then shoulder extension as well. And the rope is going to allow you to get a bit more shoulder extension out of the movement, which is why a lot of people say it's better to use the rope because you get more range of motion at the bottom of the movement. So when you get to here, instead of being stopped like you would with the Vibha, you could actually come back and behind and get a bit more flex out of the tricep. Now, if your goal is mind-muscle connection and you have a hard time flexing your tricep and feeling it, then yeah, I would definitely say use the rope. However, the number one flaw when using the rope is that you will not be able to lift as much weight as possible when compared to using the Vibha. So if your goal is overall mass building and you are trying to build bigger triceps, you don't want to use the rope because you're probably going to have to go 5, 10, maybe 15 pounds lighter just to be able to get to the bottom and extend that extra little bit. When, as we know, you build the most muscle in the negative portion of the movement, and being able to get a much heavier negative and a much harder stretch at the top using a Vibha is going to be much more beneficial to you. And then to wrap this up, guys, as you know, I like to apply my cheat and recover technique to a lot of the exercises that I do. You're not really going to be able to do cheat and recover with a rope. It's going to be very hard to control and focus on your heavy negatives. And what I like to do with this exercise, and I've posted videos about this before, is I like to get a nice firm grip and then use a bit of momentum to bring the weight down, hold it down for a second, get that nice contraction, and then focus on a slow negative for my cheat reps. Use a little momentum, hold for control, and go nice and slow on my cheats. And remember, the way cheat and recover works is we do 8 cheat reps focusing on the negative to really overload the muscles to get the most muscle breakdown for regrowth. And then as soon as those 8 are done, there's no rest. We drop it down to 50, and then we complete 8 recover reps, focusing on a full contraction at the bottom and control throughout the entire range of motion of the movement. So 2 mistakes when it comes to building bigger arms. Again, number 1 is that you're not using the right muscles when doing the exercise. You're bringing too much shoulders and chest into the movement. So all you have to do to maximize the movement is take a small step forward, press straight down, and come back up and sit in this position. And then the second mistake is using the rope to focus on the flex, when in reality you're trying to focus on the stretch and overload as much as possible, and you should be using the Vibha. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, more good stuff coming soon. See you guys.